The messages as they marched to the Malaysian embassy in Beijing were personal. One speaks of a mother's cooking being the best. Another reveals a waiting marriage proposal and engagement ring. All addressed to missing people who were on board Flight 370. And now, their personal grief and anger have become a national issue.
China-Malaysia cooperation has not only benefited our people, but it's also conducive to regional stability and development.
Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit to Malaysia last October was meant to strengthen an already long-established relationship. Bilateral trade between the two countries was worth $106 billion last year, and it's expected to go up 50% by 2017. But that's not the only reason the Chinese government wants to keep relations with Malaysia friendly.
China also has territory disputes with Malaysia, but not as serious as with Philippines and Vietnam. So China will want to keep Malaysia as a good neighboring country.
But many people here are already calling for a boycott of all things Malaysian. Chinese tourists are the third largest group of visitors to Malaysia. Now that figure is expected to drop by up to 40%. It's not a matter of sympathy or compensation for the relatives of the plane's passengers. They feel the way Malaysia handled information showed a lack of respect and understanding, not just towards them, but China as a whole. And it isn't enough for these relatives of passengers on board Flight 370 that Chinese officials allowed them a rare public show of emotion. They want their government to do something more to punish Malaysia.
The key issue here is the extent of the public pressure coming from within China itself. And I think to the extent that that's the case, the really revealing thing about this story is not so much the nature of relations between Malaysia and China as it is the nature of the regime in China itself.
It's now down to the Chinese government to find a way to balance public perception. It can't be seen to not take the side of its people, but it also doesn't want to risk undermining its relationship with an important ally. Marga, Ortigas, Al Jazeera, Beijing.